in a proper fit and mental state to suppose he meant to be able to proceed with the proceedings today because of the emotions that is undergoing.
Wathi ke Mr. Matibedi ngenxa yekufa kwenzekileyo pha efemelini ucela le commission imiselo umhla we-14 esisho ukuthi awukho emekweni yezengqondo isimo sakho zengqondo asikho emekweni uba ungakwazi ukuqhubeka ngasemoyeni apha emoyeni awuphathekanga kakuhle uba ungakwazi ukuqhubeka.
You said you don't remember. Do you remember now Mr. Matibedi saying that?
Ndifunda ke into apha uMr. Matibedi indlela aphendula ngayo xa ibuzwa ngusihlalo ngemeko okanye ukuba sizaqhubeka kanjani ukuya phambili. Uyakhumbula ngoku?
Tata ndiyakhumbula loo nto into ubana ndibhujelwe ekhaya xa ubhujelwe yazilela umntu obhubhileyo awuhlali esidlangalaleni sabantu.
I remember that. It's just that I had a death in the family. When you have a death in your family, you mourn the death. You don't go into and mix with the crowds of people.
Yes. All I'm trying to suggest that when he said you are not in a proper fit and mental state to proceed, you did not feel insulted, correct?
Ndithetha nje ukuba naye usebenzise lawo magama phaa uMr. Matibedi wemeko yengqondo le kuthiwa mental state. Khange uve uba ke uthetha into ekuphatha kakubi uyakuthuka.
Sorry, Chairperson. I think it should be put in the whole context because I said because of the emotional status. I did not just leave it then hanging, Chairperson.
Read the whole thing that Mr. Matibedi said. And could you please translate this to him? Saying this is what Mr. Matibedi said. Due to bereavement in Mr. X's family, we ask that this matter be postponed to the 14th. Because he is not in a proper fit and mental state to be able to proceed with the proceedings today, because of the emotions that he's undergoing, and also because tomorrow, according to his culture, we have a situation where rituals have to be performed.
You remember it now?
I remember.
Yes. And we can accept, the Commission can accept that Mr. Matibedi does not know what you had to do according to your culture, that you must have told him that.
uMr. Matibedi bengayazi into ofanele uyenze ngokwamasiko akho nguwe ufanele ba umxelele yonke into ayithethayo. How am I going to tell Matibedi that Mr. Chair, when we do not meet?
Okay. Phone.
I don't have a phone.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Sorry. I think the point that's being made really is this word mental state, this phrase mental state, was used by Mr. Matibedi. That's where Mr. Mpofu gets it from. And Mr. Matibedi clearly never ever intended to insult you.
Mamela inqaku kaMr. Mpofu lelokuba eligama mental state imeko yengqondo yakho isetshenziswa ukwanguye uMr. Matibedi kodwa wayenga simeselanga engahlosanga ukuba uyakuthuka ngokusebenzisa lo magama.
Tata, the question
Mr. Chair, I don't understand this question asked by Mr. Mpofu.
No, it's asked by the chairperson.
Repeat what I said. What I said to you was this. Mr. Mpofu got this phrase mental states from what Mr. Matibedi said.
Lento ke yemeko yengqondo okanye mental state lena uba phakathi lamagama asetshenziswe uMr. Matibedi.
And Mr. Matibedi clearly never ever intended to insult you by using that phrase.
naye umise Matibedi ngelaxesha esebenzisa lamagama ebengahlosanga ukuba uyakuthuka bengezo njongo zakhe naye umise Matibedi ukuthuka.
And the question is, do you accept that Mr. Matibedi did not intend to insult you?
Uyayivuma ke lonto ukuba umise Matibedi bengezo njongo zakhe uba uyakuthuka?
Tata, Mpofu mangenza umzekelo ngendaba yokubanjiswa funeral. Mpofu makabe kule position sikuyo angalahli position.
Mangenza umzekelo ngantoni?
Mangenza umzekelo ngendaba ye funeral ebiyenzeke kwaSTABC commission kana kule vephele. Mpofu uthi ngoku na commission andinangqondo lento endiyithethayo ayinayo ngqondo ndiligeza.
Yeah.
Yandithuka. Uyixaxile Mpofu lento.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Mpofu should not make an example about the funeral that led to the adjournment of the commission. What he's saying here is that I'm mad. He is insulting me.
Mr. Matibedi, you turned your light on, you wanted to say something. Perhaps you can help us out of this impasse in which we now are.
Chairperson, what I wanted to state was that the word mental state should be used in the context in which I used it on that day. It should not be used in isolation.
Yes.
So I think, Chairperson, I don't think it's correct and fair to say advocating Mpofu got that from me. I mean, he's not using it in the context in which I used that.
Chairperson, honestly, I don't think I want to get involved with this debate any further. When I raised this, I deliberately, the record will show, used both the words mental state and emotional state. And that's exactly because I wanted to cover this eventuality. I used the two words that Mr. Matibedi had used, which are in that paragraph, because of his emotions and so on.
Now, the trouble is, he really used the word mental state as a synonym for emotional state. If you read it, mental state because of the emotions.
Yes.
You use the two conjunctively, emotional and mental, which implies that the word mental means something other than purely emotional. And that, I think, is where the witness perceived the insult.
No.
And so...
If something happens because of the other, that must be conjunctive, Chairperson. That's logically so.
No,
it can be alternative. Because means it is as a result of. It doesn't mean or, which is disjunctive.
It means,
but let's not get into linguistic.
The distinction is between equivalence and conjunction. The phrase used by Mr. Matibedi was an equivalent phrase, mental state because of emotion.
No, it was causative.
Words,
it was causative. It was causative.
No, let's not argue about grammar and the meaning of words.
Yeah.
Because I modestly think my knowledge is better than yours on the point.
Well, not
anyway,
on this point. Not on this point, at least, Chairperson.
All right. Well, at least I'm modest.
You said because of. That
Yes,
can never be disjunctive under any circumstances, even from the Queen herself.
All right. Let's not spend further time on what really is a nonsense point. You've got a witness who is insulted.
Chairperson, with the greatest respect, I'm not going to be insulted, neither by the witness or anybody else. I'm making a point here that says that the word is used, it says, in his mental state can proceed with the proceedings to this because of the emotions he's undergoing. Therefore, the two must be interrelated. That's just simple logic.
Interrelated, they regard as equivalent.
Yes.
But let's not debate that matter further. You've got a witness who's insulted. You've got a witness who's digging his heels in and appears to be unwilling to answer your questions because he feels insulted and he feels you haven't made proper amends to him. Now, that's a situation you've got to deal with. And I suggest you deal with it in the gentlemanly manner I suggested.
No, for now I was dealing with the objection, Chairperson, which came from Mr. Matibedi. Mr. X, you have also testified that you are anxious about your family, correct?
Unekeke ubungqina futhi woba unentshisakalo ngefamily yakho andithi? Uthethe nangefamily yakho nangendlela ke ofilisha ngayo kanye uyatshiseka ngabo malunga efamily yakho.
ndithethe ngefamily yam kufika ngentatheli ezafika ekhaya zithunyisa kule ndawo kaMpofu. uMpofu ngwale kulaa ndawo eQonce kuthiwa zeteze seNqonce seza ekhaya safota umntu wasekhaya.
I'm talking about.
Sifunani ekhaya?
I was talking about the journalists or media people who went to my home, took photos of my home. Those journalists are from King Williamstown.
King Williamstown.
Mr. Mpofu is from that place. What do they want? What do these journalists want?
uMpofu le game udibene ontanga yakhe ndiyintanga yakhe.
Mr. Mpofu has now met his match. He met me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm also suffering from the same things. I'm saying, Mr. X, let's just go. This discussion between you and Mr. Matibedi was about the funeral. You remember?
Le ngxoxo ke phakathi kwakho no Mr. Matibedi benithetha ngefuneral yana bebhakandithi.
Kwabhutshwe ekhaya kwabhubhude umuntu asekhaya udadewethu ekhaya ngelathethi wafihla ngoLwesine.
There was a death in my family. My sister died. She was buried on Thursday.
So there was a funeral on that Thursday at your home.
So kwakunomngcwabo phaya ekhaya ngoLwesine lo.
Akho ya.
Yes.
What's the name of the deceased?
Bani gama lakhe?
No, come on.
My mother.
If you get the name of the deceased, it indirectly indicates who he is. And I've made a ruling, and anyway, it's governed anyway by what the Director of Witness Protection...
Yeah, fair enough, Chairperson.
You better withdraw that.
Just the first...
Otherwise, I'll disallow it.
What's the first name of the deceased?
I don't even want that. I think if you get the first name of the deceased, then people can put one and one together and get five. So I won't allow the first name either.
Okay. Can you give the first name of the deceased to Mr. Matibedi, and he will transmit it to me tomorrow?
Ungamnika ke uMr. Matibedi igama lakhe udadewenu lo wasweleka igama nje kuphela ngaphandle kwefani uMr. Matibedi uzanika ke.
Umthetho lo tata kanti apha eCommission njengoba ndibekela apha kule ndawo ngikuyo ndizoyenza kanjani into uba ndixele uba ngubani wam kuba cause uMpofu unyatsa umzi wasekhaya nje owakho umzi nguwo umzi wabo obhetele.
How does this law work, Mr. Chair? Why am I here? I'm put in this place where I am for a certain reason. Now, why should I give the name of this person? Mr. Mpofu is disrespecting my home, my household. This gentleman is disrespectful towards my home.
Mr. Benny, you want to say something?
What's the relevancy of the name to the issues that has to be determined?
What is the relevance, Mr. Mpofu?
The relevance is because my instructions are that there was no such funeral, Chairperson. It's obvious where I'm going, and I've obviated the concern about security, which you legitimately raised, Chairperson, by saying that the name should just simply be given between the lawyers and myself. So I don't see any basis for the objection.
Chairperson, is the person who gave Mr. Mpofu instruction, is he going to testify about that or make an affidavit about that? We don't even know who that person is. I'm
asking me or asking Mr. Mpofu?
Through you,
yeah,
Mr. Chairperson.
Yes.
Depending on the answers, Chairperson, if the witness persists and Mr. Matibedi wants me to call the person, then I will. I'll call the whole village. But the point I'm making, okay, let me ask another question. Mr. X, didn't you say it was a child who had died?
It's a child who was not born on the same year. We are not of the same age, so I'll refer to her as a child.
What is the age of the child?
Le question ibuzwa kuMpofu mna ke ndiyikhangela ayina sense le question because uba ndibuza uba neminyaka emingaphi kwathini age ndathini andiyiva le question kaMpofu.
This question of
ndithetha lesithetha ngayo apha eCommission.
This question of Mr. Mpofu does not make sense. There's no sense in this question. how old I am, when I was born, and so on. I'm here to talk about what we are meant to talk about in this commission.
Mpofu, it strikes me that
What is that going to help us? The age of the deceased person, who he or she was.
Mr. Mpofu, it strikes me that if you are making an assertion that there wasn't a funeral, then you should produce the evidence by way of affidavit or something first, before one expects the witness to answer the question. The way we've worked this commission so far is if a statement of fact is made from the bar to a witness, don't shake your head, it is correct. If a statement of fact is made from the bar, one expected an affidavit to be put before the commission indicating that the proposition can be put to the witness. It's not correct to say, I'll put the proposition to the witness, and depending on the answer the witness gives, I will then produce an affidavit supporting what I say. That's totally different from the way we've been running the commission up to now, and I have no intention of changing what we've done so far.
I did not put any proposition, Chairperson. I was simply asking a question. The proposition that I was giving to you was in response to the objection of Mr. Matiledi. For now, I'm asking questions. I have not put any proposition to the witness yet. I'm going to, and when I do that, I will take what you've said into account. What was the age of the deceased?
What is the relevance of that, Mr. Mpofu?
Chairperson, I've already explained in response to Mr. Matibedi that my case is that this witness was lying to the commission, that's the relevance. It's called credibility. And
so I'm aware of that.
Yes.
But normally, if you put a factual allegation to a witness to impugn the witness's credibility,
I've not put anything to him. I'm simply have asked him a question. That's what I've been saying, and I'm saying it again. Right. I've not put any proposition to him yet. When I get there, you can tell me.
The witness then, by implication, answered your question. When you asked the age, and you suggested that there was talk of a child, he then said, well, the person who died was younger than I am. That was the answer he gave.
Yes.
Which I interpreted to mean it wasn't necessarily a minor. The person wasn't necessarily a minor, but was someone who was younger than the witness.
And that's exactly the point I'm clarifying. If the person is 2 years old, then we know it's a minor. If the person is 22, then we know it's not. That's exactly the point.
But what's the relevance of that?
Well, if he answered, you just said he answered the first question. It's the same question. It's really, it arises from his answer. So how can it suddenly become irrelevant?
Well, I'm not sure that the previous question was relevant, but
well,
what is the relevance? Can you explain to me what the relevance is?
No, it's fine, Chairperson.
Well, then I disallow the question. You can proceed with something else.
Yeah. Okay, well, it seems that it's not relevant whether or not you lied to the Commission. So we'll deal with other lies. Or rather, that you lied in that respect.
Ukuba Mpofu ufuna uyiva lento kuzolandwa ideath ekhaya iboniswe yiCommission. Mpofu akazi kwenzela into yasekhaya ID abebuza iminyaka yakho babemngenye iminyaka engapi akazi umfotela ID owamntwana ubhubhile ngwasekhaya. Izolandwa incwadi ekhaya ekufireman ebhalwe emakhazini emoshaya.
If this must be pursued, the death, probably the death certificate, death document shall be fetched from home. Mr. Mpofu is not going to go on with this ID thing that he wants. That should be done with my household.
Okay, thank you. That's good. We'll arrange that it be done with Mr. Matiledi.
Chairperson, I think Mr. Mpofu can bind me on something which is relevant to the findings of this commission.
This made an offer which I understood Mr. Mpofu to accept, and he suggested that the implementation of the accepted offer could be done through you. I don't see that's not binding you to do anything. I think that problem has now been can be put back on the table. We can carry on with something else.
Thank you,
Chairperson. With due respect, even if the witness has made an offer, but I still persist with my objection that it is irrelevant for the purpose of the workings of this commission.
I've already disallowed the question because Mr. Mpofu wasn't prepared to tell me why it was relevant. That the witness then made an offer, and Mr. Mpofu accepted, and seemed appropriate mechanism for implementing the accepted offer was through your good officers. But if you're not prepared to provide your good officers, I'm sure someone else will.
Thank you, Chairperson. The last reason that I'm going to suggest that your evidence should be rejected as a whole
isizathu ke sokugqibela esisenza uba ndizicele ndizawucela le commission uba ichithe ubungqina bakho uba bungamkeleki sesi
is that your evidence, although we have spent almost a month of the Commission's time on it, is irrelevant to the terms of reference, and that you have been brought here just as a public relations exercise without being able to assist in any of the questions to be answered.
sesokuba ke noxa sithathe ixesha elingangenyanga simamele ubungqina
So
bakho
that sounds like an argument. It doesn't sound like a question in respect to which the witness can give an answer.
No.
He doesn't know what terms of reference are. He doesn't know what we're busy with. I didn't know that he could answer the question.
No.
It may be a point
It's
you
not
can
a question,
advance later on. If it's not a question, then what did you put it for?
Well, it's not a question. When you say to a witness, Chairperson, I'm going to argue at the end that whatever, then you put it for the reason that the witness must then comment. It's just not a question.
Exactly.
properly
No,
speaking.
exactly. You and I are
So-
in agreement with it, but can I just...
Yes.
But if you put to the witness, I'm going to argue that your evidence doesn't help the commission, it's irrelevant. How do you comment? The witness can't be expected to comment unless he knows what the terms of reference are, whether he knows what's relevant for the commission.
Which
That's
I'm-
why I said you can't expect a meaningful answer from him.
Which you must accept, I'm going to put to him, Chairperson. I'm trained well enough that when I put a proposition, I must support it. That's what I'm just about to do. Mr. X,
ke noxa ndibuyela kulaa nto bethetha noxa sithathe ixesha elingangenyanga simamele ubungqina bakho ke abuyincedi nganto le commission abambelani nje nayo yonke into efanele le commission ifumane inyani kufanele ifike ke ifinyelele kuyo
ithethwa
This-
ngumpofu loo nto tata
ithethwa
isho ngumpofu loo nto ontetha ithethwa kanjalo.
is it Mr. Mpofu saying that, Mr. Chair?
Mr. X, the
Yes, Mr. Mpofu says he's going to tell you why he says your evidence is irrelevant, and he's then going to ask you to comment, and I said he must explain to you why he says your evidence isn't relevant, and he says he'll do that.
Uthethwa ngu-Mr. Mpofu loo nto leyo sesinye sezizathu athi ke ubungqina bakho ngendawo nje kule commission uthi uzawunika ke uzayinika ikomishini isisekelo sokubathethe njalo ngolo hlobo
Tata ke ndithi ke mna ndiqenqele ikomishoni ndizayithetha ecourt lena ndithi ta umpofu makathethe ngenye into angabethetha ngamathreats into engavakali engayivayo.
and I'm saying, Mr. Chair, I will mention this in court. Mr. Mpofu should talk about something else, not this thing that he's talking about, which doesn't, I can't understand what he's saying.
yes, I'm going to help you.
Ndizakunceda uyiqonde le nto athetha ngayo.
This commission, the main event which triggered this commission are the events of the 16th of August.
Yabona ke
2012.
into eyenze ukuba kude kube nale commission sinayo nje apha namhlanje siziganeko zolwasuku lwe-16th ka-August.
That is the event that is known as the Marikana massacre.
Le nto ke yokubulawa kwabantu abaninzi phaa eMarikana yiyo ke into ephembelela uba sibe nale commission.
By others, not me.
Bantu abaninzi ababulawa eMarikana bebulawa ngabanye abantu hayi bengabulawa ndim mna Mr. Mpofu.
Now, when it comes to that, it is also true that other deaths, 10 deaths, which occurred before that date, are also part of what the commission has to examine.
iCommission leyo nyani nto bafanele ihlole nokusweleka kwabanye abantu abalishumi abasweleke ngaphambi kolo suku lwe-16 fanele iphande nangaloo nto.
Now, and the commission has to find out whether the deaths of those people firstly was caused by the police in an unjustified manner.
Fanele commission ke ijonge into yoba ukufa kwabo bantu naye ngaba kubangwe ngamapolisa ngendlela engekho emthethweni na.
And I'm paraphrasing, or whether it was caused by lawmen.
Okanye ukufa kwabo bantu kubangwe yilonmen, abantu bakwa-lawmen.
Or whether it was caused by the NUM.
Okanye ngaba ke kubangwe yi-NUM.
Or whether it was caused by AMCO.
Okanye mhlambi i-AMCO ebangele ukufa kwabo bantu. Zinto efanele commission ke ijonge impendulo kuzo. Yes.
And terms of reference also say all the strikers, doesn't it?
Does not.
Or any other person?
No. It doesn't. 1.6 says, okay. It does not. It says, and I go to 1.6.
For us, please.
The one that is mistakenly being referred to now is 1.6. And it says, the conduct of individuals and loose groupings in fermenting and or otherwise promoting a situation of conflict and confrontation which may have the tragic events which are defined in the preamble is distinguishable from this, and that's why I left out that part. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm now going to demonstrate to you that as far as the relevant parts of the terms of reference are concerned, you have nothing whatsoever to contribute.
Ba akhonto wena uyinceda ngayo le commission xa sijonga umsebenzi wale commission
I'm sorry, Mr. Paul, are you suggesting that the events from the 10th onwards, do me a favour, just Mr. X, keep quiet until are you suggesting the events from the 10th to the 15th aren't relevant at all? This witness is testifying about what happened on the 10th, or what he says happened on the 10th. He's testifying what happened the 11th, what he says happened the 11th. The 12th, he describes the killings of the security officers. If he was there, he's telling us what he saw. If the evidence is not believed in the matter, that's a different matter. We're not concerned with that at the moment. Telling us what happened on the Sunday night when someone was killed at K4. What happened on the Monday morning when Mr. Lunga was killed. What happened later on the 13th when there was an incident involving the police and the strikers near the railway line. He's telling us about what happened on the Kopi, all the way through to the 16th. Now those are matters that we've been looking at intensely since the inspection in Loco in October 2012, and we started hearing evidence in November. Now are you suggesting that the evidence he's giving on those matters is not relevant?
Chairperson, then maybe he didn't understand my proposition. The proposition I've put to the witness is that at the end of the case, I am going to argue that the month-long testimony that he has given has been a monumental waste of time because on the events about which he testified, and I'm going to explain why. Actually, that's the rest of my cross-examination is going to be based on what I'm saying now. On the relevant events which are contained in the terms of reference, he has nothing to contribute to answer those questions. And that will be either because, as I will show now, he was not present when they happened, which I will go through, or those in which he might have been present, he cannot be believed. And in fact, there's a possibility that he was not present at all. That's what the rest of today and tomorrow and the rest of my cross-examination is going to concentrate on. I was simply laying the basis upon which I will make that argument at the end of the case.
So obviously his evidence, if believed, is relevant. Your argument will be, and I can understand the argument, your argument will be his evidence can't be believed because in respect of many of the events, you will say he clearly wasn't there. And in respect of certain of the other events, he either wasn't there or his evidence is devoid of truth. There isn't a grain of truth in his evidence. And therefore, his evidence should be disregarded by the Commission. In order to decide whether to have regard to his evidence or to disregard it, we will have to decide questions of credibility. And we will be assisted, presumably, in deciding those questions of credibility by the answers you get from him from now on the issues that you're going to cross-examine.
Partly, yes.
Now till the end of tomorrow, right?
I concede that, Chairperson. Partly, it's a question of credibility, but I'm saying for the most, it's because he did not observe, as I will show, or was not there. But
well, that's also credibility.
No.
Yes, of course. If someone says I was there and I saw something and he wasn't, that's a credibility question.
Yes, right. Fair enough. Okay. I'm saying even on there's another category where even on his own version, which I will deal with, so that's not a matter of credibility. I will just show in cross-examination that even on his own version, he was not, is unable to assist the Commission. Let me make one example.
To make examples to me.
No, I'm not making it to you.
If you want to put a proposition to him that he can answer, go ahead. But if you want to put a proposition to him he can't answer, then don't.
Yes. No, I'm putting it to him, Chairperson. When I say make an example, I'm not saying to you. Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Let's start on the 16th.
Masiqale phango lwasuku lwe-16.
On that day, you cannot assist the Commission about things that happened at. You cannot assist the Commission about things that happened at Scene 2, where people were killed in the copy that is behind the big one. Correct?
Mananolo suku ke awukwazi usuku le-16 awukwazi ukuyinceda le commission ngento enzeke pha kusinto kanye indawo lesiganeko sesibini ababantu babulawa pha ekopini kunjalo
dinako tata
I can assist.
Okay, I'm sure maybe we in fairness to you, maybe you don't understand the question. There were, on the 16th, there were 34 people who died.
So, sorry, Chairperson. There are a number of copies. I think if the witness could be referred to a particular copy, then that could be of assistance.
That's exactly what I did, but I'll do it again.
I think he's, I take your point, but I think he's busy completing his question. I think let's wait to see when he's completed his question whether there's an area of uncertainty that we can raise with him before the witness is expected to answer.
Yes. Thank you, Chairperson. I did mention it, but I'll take Mr. Mativeti's advice and make it clearer. Mr. X, when it comes to the 16th, you are not able to assist the Commission about the events that happened at copy 3, which is the copy that is behind the big one, where after the first shooting of people, another 16 or so people were killed. Is that correct?
Mamela ke Mr. X copy le ndawo le nthetha ngayo copy le copy 3 le esemva kwale enkulu apho kwadutshulwa kwabulawa abantu bapha ko 16 andithi yes.
So on that date that leaves us
sorry, you did not interpret everything, please.
If the question can be repeated, maybe I miss something.
Yes, okay, I'm going to repeat the question, Mr. X. Looks like there was a portion left out by the interpreter. I was saying, sir, that as far as the 16th, the portion of the Commission's mandate refers to the 16th of August. You are unable to contribute anything in respect of the deaths that occurred at copy 3, which is the copy behind the big copy where you were gathering.
Did my lane 16 into enzekile phange 16 akwazi uba negalelo wena apho kuthethwa khona ngabantu pha copy 3 ngabantu ababulawa pha copy 3 copy 3 ke le esemva wale nduli le enkulu le uthi bokuyo wena?
Ewe tata.
Answer to that part of the question, yes.
Dinalo igalelo tata.
I have a contribution to make.
Igalelo lam tata ngala date kukho amadoda ayithetha pha tata before bakufika amapolisa athi la mapolisa eyoqala yathi la inkunzi zihlala esibayeni inkunzi esibayeni esi1.
On that date, Mr. Chair, there are gentlemen who were talking before the police came. One gentleman said there cannot be two bulls in one kraal.
La mapolisa ukuba azosusa thina apha azocheka apha uba ngaba uba sisuka apha ucheka thina apha owesibini wathi
If those police, gentlemen said, if those police are here to remove us from this place, they will remain here, or else it will be us, the strikers, who will remain here.
Owesibini wathi umuntu la mapolisa alandwe e-Eastern Cape bangazobulela thina singabantu bamnyama apha azochiyeka apha.
The second speaker said these police officers who were brought in from the Eastern Cape to come and kill us, we being black and they are also black, they will remain here.
Okay, Mr. X. Sorry.
Ngicela umpofu andiphendule uba ngaba umuntu xa sithi inkunzi esibayeni ezimbini asihlala esibayeni esi1 thetha ukuthini na aphinde futhi aphendule question S2 ethi xa amapolisa alandwe e-Eastern Cape azoshiyeka apha thetha ukuthini na izo questions zisho kanjalo.
Can Mr. Mpofu please explain to me these statements? Two bulls cannot be in one kraal. What does that mean?
No. The witnesses are here to answer questions, not to ask questions of counsel. It's counsel's job to ask questions and to accept the rulings given by the chair, and it's the witness's duty to answer the questions. You can't ask Mr. Mpofu questions, I'm afraid. He can ask you. So I disallow your question.
Mstano uthi manje kunqande kulondawo ingqina lilo elize apha commission lizophendula imibuzo yegqwetha amagqwetha afana no Mr. Mpofu. Okay, Mr.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Chairperson.
Now, sorry.
I don't want to interject in the cross-examination, but I think it would be of assistance, great assistance to the witness. I mean, if he can be shown the various copies and also be told that there are two shooting incidents.
Yes, I can tell you that. Mr. X, listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to try to make Mr. Mpofu's questions clear to you.
Mamele kahle ngokulento ezawuthethwa umsesihlalo Mr. X izokwazi ukucacisa lemibuzo kaMr. Mpofu.
The evidence is that on the 16th of August, they were in the afternoon, just before 4 o'clock onwards, there were two places where the police, in fact there were more than two, but there were two main places where some strikers were killed by members of the police service.
Ubungqina ke buthi ukusukela pha nge-16 pha malanga phango 4 nge-16 zika August ne zimbini indawo ezona ndawo apho abaqhankqalazi babulawa khona ngamapolisa.
Before that, during the day,
phamgoko apha emini
there were communications between, or exchanges between police negotiators in Nyala and some of the leaders of the strikers.
Phamgoko ke pha emini bekunengxoxo phakathi kwabathethi abathethelayo imeko ezinje bamapolisa nabanye ke abamele abaqhankqalazi kuthethwa pha kwinyala.
And various things were said on both sides.
Bekuthethwa into ezininzi ezihlukeneyo ngaba bathethayo inegotiators ezamapolisa nangapha kwelicala labaqhankqalazi.
Later, Mr. Matunjwa came twice and spoke to the strikers.
emva kwexesha ke kwafika uMr Mathunjwa weza kabini ethetha nabaqhankqalazi.
And Bishop Sioko also came and spoke to the strikers.
No Bishop Siyoka wafika wathetha nabaqhankqalazi.
After Mr. Matunja left the second time,
Emva kokuhamba kwakhe uMr Mathunjwa emva kuba ebezile okwesibini wahamba ke ngoku.
a wire barrier was uncoiled from some wire trailers which are pulled by Nyalas, that's police vehicles.
Amapolisa aqhaqha ucingo oluhlabayo lutsalwa ngenyala.
And after that, at the first scene, a number of strikers were killed by police fire.
Emva koko ke pha kulandawo isiganeko sokuqala uninzinywana labaqhankqalazi labulawa pha kudutyulo lwamapolisa.
That's what we call scene one.
Lo ndawo ke leyo ndithi kwadutyulwa kwabulawa abantu pha ngamapolisa yile siyibiza indawo isiganeko sokuqala scene 1.
Some of the strikers then ran away
Abanye babaqhankqalazi ke babaleka
and went to another kopie,
baya kwenye induli.
which was behind the big kopie on which you people had been gathering.
Induli ke esemva kwale inkulu induli le benithi bene kuyo nina.
Some of the police went there, and a number of those strikers also were shot by members of the police service.
Kwakhona ke amapolisa ayayo kulo nduli leyo ke ngoku yesibini nalapho kwaba nabaqhankqalazi abadutyulwayo bebulawa ngamapolisa.
That's what we call scene two.
Leyo ke indawo ke ngoku le ndawo yenduli yesibini ile sibiza indawo esiganeko sesibini okanye scene 2.
Mr. Mpofu put to you, you can't help us in relation to what happened at scene two, because you don't know anything about that, and you agreed.
Ngoke uMr Mpofu uthi awunakwazi usinceda wena ngokwenza uxalela ngokwenzekileyo pha scene 2 okanye kulaa ndawo yesiganeko sesibini ngoba uyazi into enzekileyo ba.
Tata mna into enganceda ngayo amapolisa zaswahlasela wena.
Mr. Chair, I can contribute in saying that we were attacking those police officers.
Chairperson, I know you've given us evidence about what happened earlier, as I understand it, more or less up to scene one.
Kusosixelele ke ngqineni bakho into enzekileyo kakhulu pha kwindawo yesiganeko sokuqala scene 1.
I say more or less because there's an area of uncertainty about that. But what Mr. Mpofu put to you, and you agreed with him, was you can't tell us anything about scene 2.
Kodwa into Mr. Mpofu ayithethayo enduvumelana naye into ba unawusixelela into eyenzekileyo pha scene 2 kulaa ndawo yesiganeko sesibini.
I think we must now let him put to you what else he says you can't help us on, and you can then give us your reaction to that.
Masimyeke ke uMr Mpofu aveze ezinye indawo apho athi awunagalelo ngasinika lona sive impilo yakho bayizawuthini.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, Chairperson, in the interest of time, I was going to move on to the scene 1 that the witness is clearly eager to talk about, because it's common cause that there was no suggestion that he can assist us when it comes to scene 2. So there's no point in...
Okay, you appear to be not understanding where you're going to.
That's
and
right,
Mr. Matabedi made the valid point that in fairness he should be given a picture of what was going on, and I tried to do that.
Let's save time, Chairperson. Now, we'll argue at the end that you can't help with scene 2. But so it looks like you want to talk about scene 1, which is the other part of what happened on the 16th.
Sizawuagiwa kasha ke sixoxe egqibeleni sithi akwazi ukusinceda unike igalelo ngento enzekileyo escene 2. Kodwa wena kubonakala ngathi ufuna ukuthetha kakhulu ngento enzeke pha escene 1 la ndawo yesiganeko sokuqala.
So let's go there.
Masiyeke ngoku kuyo lo ndawo le sibiza ba scene 1 okanye isiganeko sokuqala.
Firstly, let's start with what you've just said now, and which Ms. Barnes dealt with in the morning.
Siqale ngalento gqiba uyithetha ngoku nomama uBarnes ke wadilishana nayo ekseni.
Your evidence is that what you've just described now happened after Mr. Mathunjwa left, namely where Mr. Noki said no two bulls in one crawl, and where the person known to the commission as protester number 6 said that the policeman will be finished there. Is that your evidence?
Gogo ezinto ke uthi zenzeke emva kokuba uMr Mathunjwa ehambile lento kaNoki apho ethetha ngenkunzi ezimbini naleke yomkhankaso number 6. Sorry, protester number 6
person,
said.
no, forget about number 6. The person who, according to you now and this morning, said these policemen from the homelands will be finished here. All that happened after Mr. Matunja left, correct?
Yeah, nalento yalomuntu ke othi lamapolisa avela apha Eastern Cape amnyama zobulala abantu abamnyama into ezinjalo azawushiyeka zonke zonto zenzeke emva kokuba uMr Matunjwa ehambile.
Wekhona tata.
He was there, Mr. Chair.
No, I'm saying, Mr. X, let's understand each other.
Wekhona tata uMathunjwa. Ngicela uvele mhlambe ububa ngaba amapolisa afundile famba ayi okanye asirecord abanyathini kodwa ukuba ngaba lento ndithethayo ayikho kuzoba bungqina bamabukho ndifuna amapolisa mhlambe akuvezwe ezividiyo zinjalo because siyabe sisale silanda into eyendekayo.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Matunjwa was there. The police officers are educated. Let them produce the necessary videos. If you people are saying my evidence is false, let us play the relevant videos. Let's not beat about the bush.
That's argument. It's not for you to argue. You just here to answer questions. But what you are saying to Mr. Mpofu is that when Mr. Matunja was still there, when something was said, now you've told us about two things being said. One about the two bulls, and one about the policeman from the Eastern Cape. Were both of those said when Mr. Matunja was still there, or was only one of those things said when Mr. Matunja was still there?
Masame njophendla le nto obuzwa yona. Andithi uthethe ngento ezimbini ezathethwayo le yenkunzi ezimbini nale amapolisa avele Eastern Cape. Zombini mamela. Zombini ke ezo zinto ezi zenkunzi ezimbini namapolisa avele Eastern Cape. Zombini ezo zinto zithethwe uMr Mathunjwa esekhona pha okanye enye yazo ithethwe ekhona.
Wasekhona tata.
You was still there, Mr. Chair.
Both of those things were said, or only one of them?
Wayesekhona uMr Mathunjwa xa zithethwa zombini ezo zinto okanye enye yazo.
Wasekhona tata, wasekhona ngokuthetha abantu papa abantu babemeca kwelicala lingakuyo uMathunjwa.
He was there when these things were said. These people who said these things were standing on that side when Mr. Mathunjwa was.
All right, thank you. Perhaps we can take the tea adjournment now and we can carry on after tea, 3 o'clock, I hope.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Ngake sithi xa ke siphum sebreak.
apparently.
Sure. Hey, did you get anything what Dali said? Dali was very boring now.
No. He was more excited earlier.
Yeah, now it's very boring. I mean, everyone can see that guy is mad. So why do you still have to argue? Settle. No, London.
Everything.
Yellow.
Let's not take two only. Right?
Okay. Is that thing on? Okay. Put it on the floor. Hi, Kyle from the truck. Okay. Good afternoon. Hi. I'm super awesome. I can hear you loud and clear. Hi, how are you, Alicia? Okay, awesome. No, it's fine. Doesn't look too bad. Can you hear?
Chepe.
It's too loud. Take it a little bit low. Okay. Take it a bit lower. Yeah.
lashed mashap. Yeah, nobody plans. Mashap. Point number 227.